I'm going to read chapter 7, Around the World in 80 Days.
Around the world.
Before reading chapter 7, and then talk about chapter 6. And Mr. Fogg was supposed to pass Suez Canal through the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. And then they were heading to, according to the map, they're heading to pass through the Red Sea, and they reached Bombay in India. Bombay. Now I think Mumbai. Okay. So quite a long time. I've spent 4 days at my old house. There you go.
Over 80 Days by Jules Verne. Translated by George Makepeace Towell. Chapter 7, which once more demonstrates the uselessness of passports as aids to detectives. The detective passed down the quay and rapidly made his way to the consul's office, where he was at once admitted to the presence of that official.
"Consul," said he, without prim, "I have strong reasons for believing that my man is a passenger on the Mongolia," and he narrated what had just passed concerning the passport.
"Well, Mr. Fix," replied the consul, "I shall not be sorry to see the rascal's face. But perhaps he won't come here. That is, if he is the person you suppose him to be."
Oliver doesn't quite like to really trace it of his flight behind him, and besides, he is not obliged to have his passport countersigned.
"If he is as shrewd as I think he is, consul, he will come. To have his passport visaed?"
Yes, passports are only good for annoying honest folk and aiding in the flight of logs.
"I assure you it will be quite the thing for him to do. But I hope you will not visa the passport."
Why not? If the passport is deemed, I have no right to refuse. Still, I must keep this man here until I can get a warrant to arrest him from.
"At your lookout, but I cannot—"
The consul did not finish his sentence, for as he spoke a knock was heard at the door. Two strangers entered, one of whom was the servant whom Pick had met on the quay.
Who was his master, held out his passport with the request that the consul would do him the favor to visa it.
The consul took the document and carefully read it, whilst the Fix observed a rather bored. The stranger with his eyes at the foremost corner of the room.
"Mr. Phileas Fogg," said the consul after reading the passport. "I am. And this man is your servant? He is a Frenchman named Passepartout."
You are from London? Yes. And you are going to Bombay? Very good, sir.
"Very good, sir. You know that a visa is useless and that no passport is required?" "I know it, sir," replied Phileas Fogg, "but I wish to prove by your visa that I came by Suez."
There was, sir. The consul proceeded to sign the passport, after which he added his official seal.
Mr. Fogg paid the customary fee, coldly bowed, and went out, followed by his servant. "Well?" queried the detective. "Well?"
"Well, it looks like a perfectly honest man," he replied the consul, utterly. "That's no question."
"I think, consul, that this phlegmatic gentleman resembles, feature by feature, the robber whose description I have received."
"I conceive that, but you know all description. I'll make certain of it," interrupted the Fix.
"The servant seems to me less mysterious than the master. Besides, he's a Frenchman and can't help talking. Excuse me for a little while, consul." Fix started off in search of Passepartout.
Meanwhile, Mr. Fogg, after leaving the consulate, repaired to the quay, gave some orders to Passepartout, went home to the Mongolia in boat, and descended to his cabin.
He took up his notebook, which contained the following memoranda. "Left London Wednesday, October 2nd at 8:45 p.m.
Reached Paris Thursday, October 3rd at 7:20 a.m. Left Paris Thursday at 4:40 a.m. Returning by Mount Saint on October 4th at 6:35 a.m.
Till on Friday at 7:20 a.m. Arrived at Brindisi Saturday, October 5th at 4 p.m. Sailed on the Mongolia Saturday at 5 p.m.
Reached Suez Wednesday, October 9th at 11 a.m. Total hours spent 158, owing days 6 days and a half.
These dates were inscribed in an itinerary divided into columns, indicating the month, the day of the month, and the day for the stipulated and actual arrivals at each principal point: Paris, Brindisi, Suez,
Bombay, Calcutta, Singapore, Hong Kong, Yokohama, San Francisco, New York, and London, from the 2nd of October to the 21st of December, and giving a space for setting
down the gain made or the loss suffered on arrival at each locality.
This methodical record does contain an account of everything needed. Mr. Fogg always knew where he was when and in advance of his time.
On this Friday, October 9th, he noted his arrival at Suez and observed that he had as yet neither gained nor lost.
He sat down quietly to repose in his cabin, never once thinking of inspecting the town, being one of those Englishmen who are one, sees foreign countries through the eyes of their domestics.
End of chapter 7.
Okay, I finished reading. Here you go. I enjoy reading the book on C.C. prose. It's worth reading because while reading the books, I can reach the goal that speak or read aloud well.